Hey there, everyone. I'm Krishna Patel. You're watching LPS Health, and today I have been joined by Mr. Bharat Patel. Now, he is the chairman of Asian American Hotel Owners Association, also known as AAHOA. And he's here in India to make the most out of his holidays. He's just experienced the One to Four program. He's undergone it, and we will be taking a little dive into his insights and the experience that he's had so far. Welcome, Mr. Patel. So, to begin with, how was your experience with One to Four, and how has it impacted your awareness on the cardiovascular health and its benefits to the community?
Yeah. So look, it's been a great experience. I would encourage anyone to come here. It's really a world class hospital. The 1-2-4 program, and I'm probably cheating a little bit. I know Dr. Kamal. We met at an AAHOA event, and he started talking on stage, and then I started talking with him. And so I said, you know what? Well, let's do a podcast, and then let's also talk about it, right? Because health is important. And I faced a health condition, a cardiac arrest on the beach while I was running. And so this program, I think, is important because it gives the awareness it puts you in charge of your own awareness of your health. Look, there are doctors, there are family members, there are people who are concerned about, your longevity and your health. But the important thing is this program puts the tools in your, these tools are available to you. So what I've noticed lately, and especially with, this technology now, all my blood tests are on the app. So literally whenever I talk to a doctor or anyone else, I can say, okay, but what was your A1C, or what was your ejection fraction rate? What was it? It's available now here. And so when you have the tools at your fingertips, and that's what I was trying to say earlier, at your fingertips, that's going to help you make better decisions, health decisions, right? And so I think that's what's important about it.
Now, you've gone through the One to Four program, and as you spoke about your cardiac arrest, which happened in
2019.
Right. So ever since then, when you had your first cardiac arrest to now, how has your life changed?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I was thinking about it earlier today too, before I was heading here. In some ways it's changed tremendously. In other ways, you go back to your normal routine, right? And so, immediately following the cardiac arrest, you have all these doctor's orders and your health and regimen and your exercise regimen, or when you rest or relax and all that. And then you kind of fall back into some of your older habits, right? But people do ask me, so the first thing they always ask me is about the dietary change. And, honestly, maybe my guilty pleasure was like tarela papar or samosa or some of these fried things, right? But I can give up kachori. I can give up other fried foods, right? Samosa, instead of having 2 or 3, I'll have 1. So it's those smaller changes when it comes to Indian food, right? The other thing I noticed is on your diet, so, you don't have rice for dinner, you have it for lunch. So the dietary things were easier. The harder thing is making better health decisions. So it's a 2-story building, 3-story building. Do you walk up the stairs instead of taking the elevator? If you don't want to do that, then you walk down the stairs. You take the elevator up, right? But, or you park your car a little bit further away. Maybe it's safer for the car, less dense, but you also have to walk a little bit more. So those are the small sort of health changes. Immediately following the heart attack, there were so many things that, I had to implement. But I can tell you, I had a solid foundation, and this is what I really appreciate. It's not only about health, AAHOA, but about LPS is, my wife, hard as nails, right? And so her, my parents, my children, they all kind of, blended together, right? And they all supported one another. And I think that's very important because as a spouse, as a wife, it's really hard to be on your own. But I do tell this story to people, the difference between, I have a son and a daughter. I'm fortunate to have both. And when I was younger, I was not feeling well. So I was in the living room, lying down on the sofa with my blanket. And somebody said something to my son. He goes, oh, Dad's going to be fine. He's a big, strong guy, whatever, right? My daughter came over and gave me these small Cheerios, a Chevro, right? Cheerios. Because she had seen a TV commercial that Cheerios helps towards heart health. And so she kept feeding me a Cheerio. And I'm asking, Beta, why are you doing this, right? And so she's like, oh, well, the TV says it's good for your health, right? So what I mean by this is I'm here telling you what I think is good for you, right? What's more important is your interaction with your doctor, but not just, and you know what, honestly, if you don't like the doctor you have, your general practitioner or a cardiologist, find another one. There's plenty of them, right? Find someone you're comfortable with that you can be open with. I myself, I had a cardiologist who was there for 30 years, and I didn't feel that comfort level. So I went with another doctor. He happened to be younger. By accident, happened to be Indian also. He's in my healthcare plan in network, but I was able to open up. And the other thing is I brought my wife with me at all the appointments. So it's kind of like a reversal. When I had my children, I would go to every appointment with my wife, and now she comes with every appointment with me. And so there are some things that are top of mind, but what I noticed is write the questions down. I always have my phone with me, so note screen. Write the questions down and think about what you would ask your doctor before you get there, even the day before, and then when you're there. And so when you ask me, it's big changes, but it's also really there's small changes. So what I mean by that is very easy to make these small changes.
So now that you experienced one took a for the first hand, first time. So how, one thing or one feature, something that you think about the entire program was your favorite part, or something that you're gonna, that's gonna stay with you forever?
Yeah, that's hard to do. So I've been through a lot of battery of different tests, right? What I would say on this program that helped is the staff is wonderful, very professional. I think in our mind, living in America, you get kind of corrupted. What is your image of India, right? And so, it's one thing to see the Taj Mahal or the, gateway to India. It's a world-class hospital. I'm glad I was able to get here. I noticed about the MRI, Siemens, GE equipment, it's all modern equipment that's here. What I noticed is the concern that the staff, the team has about the patient. I think that's what I'll take away.
Right. Now, for organizations like LPS Health, and when it comes to a worldwide level, or say like a global outreach, what do you think about LPS Health or organizations like these, which are founded, especially LPS Health, which is founded by Dr. Kamal Murar, and what kind of impact do you think that organization like ours is going to make on an international level?
So, I think it can have a tremendous impact. And the reason I say this is because when you impact one person, it impacts so many others, right? And so not only my family is concerned about heart health, but other families that I'm connected to. I was on the phone and I celebrated my new birthday, the day that I had my heart attack, right? The following year. And I put it on Facebook. A lot of people are afraid to share their health concerns or the health issues they have on social media. Maybe some people overshare. So my mama Chokra, my first cousin, he calls me and says, Bharat, I had a heart attack too. And I'm thinking we share some sort of common blood. You couldn't tell me this 2, 3, 4 years ago when you had it, right? And he's like, well, I didn't think about it. I was a little bit embarrassed, So for the lesson I would say is don't be embarrassed, right? You didn't have the heart attack because you made a lot of poor decisions, right? Some of it is genetic, some of it is environment, and I get that. But there's nothing to be ashamed of it's not your personal moral failing that you had too much papa or this or whatever, right? So the key thing is make other healthcare options, but also share. And it shouldn't be just sharing in private. It can be with other people because you never know which spouse impacts another spouse. And I will say this, probably 7, 8 years before my heart attack, I remember somebody talking about this, and the husband, had a chakra. He was a little bit dizzy in the morning. And so he told his wife, just go ahead, you drop off the kids. On the way back, you pick me up and we'll go together to the doctor because he didn't feel comfortable driving on his own. And so she did that. But by the time she got back, he'd already passed away. And so I think he was in his early 40s, right? And it's really, really sort of sad, right? And so when else I know, and his wife is a medical professional, he survived the heart attack, and literally his parents are going to India the next day. So he's getting up early. He decided to go to his medication, and they found him by the sink trying to get his medication. So there's always going to be these stories. And for me, I think the doctor one time, this is a couple years later, after my heart attack, said, Bharat, this the heart attack gen is kind of like a widowmaker. Very few, less than 10% of the people survived it. And the reason I was fortunate is I'm a social person, and I was out there running. So there's me, and there's probably 200 people running, Siesta Key Beach in Florida, one of the most famous beaches, running a 5K. And the opportunity, I was running on the beach, and it happened. And if it didn't happen in a public place, if it happened while I was in bed or in the bathroom or somewhere else, in a private place, I don't think I'd gotten the attention that quickly, medical attention.
Right. Now, with Dr. Kamal Morar, his vision and the ability to, put a break to his career, getting retired and starting this initiative for the community, for the people. What is your take on his vision and the strength it takes for someone like Dr. Morar to come out and to quit on his career for the community?
Sure. So look, it takes a tremendous amount of courage. I tell people, try going to your parents and saying, Mom and Dad, I'm going to quit my career or end my career and go do something else. It's not easy, right? But what does make it easy is Samaj Seva. We always talk about this, right? The greater good. And as a doctor, especially a medical professional, or even in my industry, hospitality, how can you have the largest impact on the largest group of people, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not just about your legacy or what you want to be known for. You also want to, on the later end of your career or your life, be able to say, I had impact. I had impact on my community, I had an impact on people, and it was for the betterment of those people. And so it's a tremendous sacrifice he's made. I'm fortunate because I got to share a podcast with him and stage with him. I've got to know him personally. And so, it's a selfless act, right? But as Gandhiji and other people have talked about, these are the acts, the small acts and the large acts of people, of the human people that really actually change and make our society better.
Right. Now, towards the end, to the AAHOA community or the LPS community, to everyone who's watching this worldwide, what would you want to tell them about the program, your experience?
Right. So, it's two basic things. One is get involved, and second is spread the word, right? So, you yourself may not suffer from heart disease or high blood pressure or diabetes or any of those things, right? Unfortunately, Indians in America, Gujaratis, were predisposed to some of this genetically. And then the environment itself, we're fast-paced, everything. So you've got to have an awareness. You should get involved and then spread the word to others too. And that's the two things, the message I would want to give to everyone.
Right. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this was Mr. Bharat Patel. He, like I said, is the chairman of AAHOA and just experienced the One to Care program, and you heard what he thinks about us. So with this and a lot more that you need to know, make sure that you keep watching LPS Health. And while you're here in India, like I said, do try to make the most of your time here. It's going to take 4 hours. I promise it's a quick, painless procedure. You can go on to onetocarehealth.com. That's where you can register from, or you can directly get in touch with Dr. Morar or the number that we've provided on the website. So with this, make sure that you keep watching LPS Health, and I'm Krishna Patel. Thank you.